Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another segment of Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. I'm Sherry. As we begin today's segment, we're going to do something a little different. We've received so many questions from our last shows, I thought I would dedicate this show to just your questions. So, as we begin tonight's segment, for those of you that may be new to the modalities that I offer, I'm a sound practitioner using tuning forks, crystal bowls, and an energy practitioner using the Melchizedek and Reiki energy vibrations. So let's get started with some of the questions you've sent in. Our first question is from Elaine, and Elaine asks, how does one know when we have an attachment? Elaine, that's a really good question. So let me see. My thoughts on that would be to notice changes in habits, to notice changes in eating disorders, dramatic change in appearance, changes in one's personality, sudden feelings of anxiety, violent urges or angry, becoming overly fearful, even paranoid. So simply be aware of sudden changes or habits within yourself, or even in somebody that you may suspect has something going on. Oftentimes we recognize shifting, but we pass it off with our logical mind as stress or tired. So thanks, Elaine, for that question. That was really good. Okay, so our next question is from Jason. Jason asks, what is a meridian? So let me just show you what a meridian is. I think I have it up already. I do. This is the pathway for the meridians that actually move through your body. So let me just explain what a meridian is if you're not familiar with it. This is actually very much like the veins that bring blood through your body to the organs. The meridian line brings the energy field or the chi or the prana, life force energy, take your pick. That is what's moving through these lines that you can see in this body. That's a meridian, and they go through everything. They go through your cells, your organs, they adapt, and that is what actually fuels the organs to keep them moving and working, is the energy field or the chi. So the energy flow is called chi, prana, life force energy, and it's Chinese medicine. And there are 12 such pathways associated with specific organs. So again, it's like the veins that bring blood through the body. The meridian lines are much the same. So we need the energy field moving through the body, through this actual meridian line or this field. So not to get confused with the veins that bring blood through the body. So thanks, Jason. That was a good question. So the next question is from Cynthia, and she writes, I like your show very much. My question is, what is a cadmium light body? So let me just show you what that might be. So hang on one second and I'll just flip this. This is an interesting image, and I wanted you to see this, and there's a lot of history that goes with this. This is how original man began. If you look at the very bottom, this is the divine energy source, the universal divine energy source that we all tap into. And this is us on the far corner here at the bottom, and you can just barely see the spark of our light. It's at the root chakra, and it's just barely light. And look at how dark our color is of our bodies. It almost has no light coming through it. So the light body, the cadmium light body, actually glows within us. It is a form, and it's inside the human body, but we haven't developed it enough until now. So if you look and follow the progression, and that was the reason I wanted to show you this. If you follow the progression as human beings have evolved, you can actually see the chakra centers starting to shift in color and start to glow. The human body itself is starting to lighten up, and that is just simply because the light body is starting to grow and awaken within us. So we went from this back to that. So that's what we originally came through as, the original body of God. That's why they say our image was created like God. That is the God image. So the light body completely takes over, and we've not gotten to that point yet. And we are now in the awakening. I'm sure you've heard of that. That's where we're going. We are coming into that. So we are probably within these two here, the green and the yellowish. but we're moving. We are getting there. So that's progress for the human race. So I thought you would find this interesting. So that's evolving. So that's a good question. So for starters, the light body, it's a physical, it's in the physical body, but it's not a physical thing. So the atom cadmon is a phrase found in the writings of the Kabbalah, meaning original man. There are many references in this in the Keys of Enoch. If you have a chance to get to that book, it's very dry, there's a lot to it, it's very intensive, but it's a very good book, it's very fascinating, and I think you'll get a lot out of that. It's a heavy read, but it talks a lot about the atom cadmon light body. And the word atom is the name of the first man that was created by divine source. So thus, his body, which is the atom cadmon light body, it's a perfect body. And it's in the Keys of Enoch. And the writer mentions the atom cadmon body as the perfect body of man and the first creation of the human form. So again, hence, this is why the term atom is there. But the atom cadmon body was in fact separated into 12 levels of dimension. And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. When it was banished from Eden, bazillion years ago, this body then subjects itself to life problems and 12 dimensions. So we had to go through 12 dimensions, and that's the reason why I wanted to show you this. This is the evolution of mankind from where we were banished from, because we kind of wanted to taste both sides of the coin, and we were told not to do that. So we had to go through all of this process to get back to the light body. So it took a long time, 12 dimensions, and you have to saddle the information that you're receiving from those 12 dimensions in order to progress forward. So this is where the physical body lies. So however, there are more. There's an astral body, there's a light body, there's a sacred geometry body in various dimensions. So again, it's all about dimensions and vibrations. So these bodies would then master whichever realm of existence before reforming the atom cadmon. The flower of life, which comes from the seed of life, is the DNA of God. Thus, all creation is the energy of God. So it's for that reason many spiritual writers say, we are the sons and daughters of God and our God. This is the reason why. However, this godhood is being separated into, again, 12 essences. Hence, we need to rejoin the 12. That's where we're going. We need to rejoin the 12 in order to create the atom cadmon light body. So the term atom cadmon first arrived to the earth in the book Keys of Enoch. It's a very, very interesting book. I think you will enjoy it. If you get a chance to read it, it's a heavy read, but I think you will enjoy it. So thanks for that question. So our next question is from Jim. Hi, Jim. Let's see, what is he saying? I'm a Reiki master, and in the Melchizedek energy work that you offer, you say it's like Reiki. How is the KO formula used? That is a really good question. The KO formula, the word itself, stands for cadmon light formula. This formula works with the 4 elements. So that would be the earth, the fire, the water, and the air elements. And it's broken down into 4 light body groups having 8 layers in each. And each of these light body groups is broken down into 8 bodies. So there's a lot to the Melchizedek work. The lower 8 bodies, so let's start at the base. The lower 8 bodies, this is the grouping that is the earth category, and that's your baseline. That is your chakra base. The 7 chakras that run up and down the front and back of your spine. So that's your lower 8 bodies. The next grouping of 8 is your cosmic 8 bodies, and that's in the fire category. The next grouping above that is your divine 8 bodies, and that is in the water category. And your final one is the God illuminated, and that is also 8 bodies, and that is in the air category. So the cadmon light body field is made up of, believe it or not, 33 layers having a color and a vibration attached to it. So again, I say this a lot in my work. Everything is about vibration on this plane. Everything with us is about vibration. So whichever sequence is needed by a person, or if I'm doing a group healing monthly, this sequence comes through to help the body repair. It removes old patterns, balances and heals itself on a much deeper level, actually going to the DNA blueprint. And I know that sounds a little bit out there, and it is. When I first started doing this years ago, I thought, what the heck am I getting involved in? Wow. But the powers that be were calling me to do this work, so here I am. So actually, as we continue, each group is represented by a color and a vibration frequency, and it is organized by an angelic realm. So that would be the archangels, your ascended masters, and your light beings. So these beings of light literally have to lower their vibration to help us, because the vibration here on the earth plane is so low and so dense. They're far beyond light years where we are vibrationally. So in order to get our attention even, they have to lower their vibration significantly just to get our attention. So they're working very hard on the other side, as much as we are. So as they embrace us wherever we are on our journey, moving us forward, your energetic settings adjust like a radio to a particular wavelength. The transmission, which transports that wavelength into the subtle workings of the energy system, helps to restore your body as it works with you through time. So it's a bit like bringing the patterns back to factory setting. It's kind of interesting how this works. So thank you for that question. Okay, so our next question is from Frank. And Frank writes, I like your program. I find it very interesting. And my question is, what is a macabre? Oh, that's a very good question. So let me just turn this over and see if I have a picture here. I think I do. This is a macabre, believe it or not, and that is what surrounds a human being. So this is made up, believe it or not, of two tetrahedrons. It rotates when it's activated. A macabre means spiritual body surrounded by counter-rotating fields of light, or wheels within wheels. So it's similar to the spirals of the energy as in DNA strand. So I'll show you that as well, just because I have it. But that is actually what your macabre looks like. When somebody is doing this work and they call in a macabre around them, this is it. So let's just see if we have a DNA strand. We do. So it's similar to that. It coils and moves like this. So it's very, very much like a DNA strand. So good question. Thank you for that. So it goes to show you that you people are really paying attention. Thank you. That makes me feel good. So our next question is from Andrea. Hello, Andrea. Thank you for your question. And Andrea writes, I've seen your show many times. Thanks for bringing your work to this community. Thank you, Andrea. My question is, where did tuning forks come into effect? That's a really strong question. I like this question. They actually have been around for some time. They actually surfaced in England in the 1500s with mathematicians, physicians, astrologers, but it wasn't until the 1700s when a royal trumpeter, John Shore, created the first tuning fork based on German physician Schellhammer's discovery of using a common fork, just a regular fork, an eating fork. He was actually playing with that and using it and making discoveries with it. So John Shore kind of worked with it and perfected it. And he actually made a tuning fork of his own, and it was made of steel, and it had a pitch of 423.5 hertz. And he was working with it. So it goes way back. This is not new technology. So thank you for that question. Okay, so our next question is from Noah. And he asked, what is the difference between a weighted fork and an unweighted fork? That's a very good question. Let me show you one, anyway, of both of them. So this is both of the weighted and the unweighted forks. Very interesting. The weighted forks you see on the far right, those are the ones that we actually use on the physical body to move muscle knots, tension in the neck and shoulders, the lower back, sciatic nerve discomfort. I've had a lot of success with the sciatic nerve area. It's amazing. It's very helpful. What it does is it actually moves the chi through the body. And if meridian lines are blocked, it helps to open the blocks and calms inflammation. And believe it or not, it's the inflammation in our bodies that creates all of the havoc and the problems that we have to go through and endure and then create more illness. It begins with inflammation. So again, if your field is too heavy, it has too much static out here, it's taxing your organs because your organs can only handle so much. Your organs have to actually work at a specific frequency for your own individual body. So if there's too much static built up in your field out here, they're taxed and they still have to work. So they're working overtime and they're sluggish. That is what creates inflammation. So these are also very helpful with a Lemurian crystal. They actually help push the stuck energy. So a Lemurian crystal, I wish I had one here with me. I didn't bring one. But a Lemurian crystal, the one that I use, is about this size. And it's very, very clear. And they're usually not super clear. They're usually very smoky. But what you do is you place the crystal on the spot that you're working on. Let's going to use the sciatic nerve discomfort area. So usually I will have it over here. And I will use a weighted fork, tap it, and then I will actually tap the crystal and just hold it there. What's happening with that is the Lemurian crystal is a pulsating crystal, so it's sending a charge of energy, intense charge of energy, through that area that's stuck, vibration, and it's pulsating it. So what it's doing is it's a wall that's stuck there, and what it's doing is it's breaking it up. So what we do is we go back in afterwards, and we just comb through the field like this to the physical body. And what we're doing is kind of like a magnet. We're just scooping up the pieces because you can't move through the wall, but you can move the pieces once we've broken it up a little bit. So it's really, really helpful. And I've had a lot of success with these difficult areas. So as we use the unweighted fork, that is primarily for the biofield or the aura around your body. This area is a little tricky when we're working in this field. The field of energy around the body has a compartmentalized membrane that has encoded memory. In everybody, male or female, it doesn't matter. Animals, same thing. So it's like a backup file on a computer. And if the interesting thing about this is information stored in this area is the same for everyone, whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter. In all cases, it's the timeline that differs. So it's the static that's created from challenges, stress, traumas that we experience during the course of our lifetime that remain stuck in the field. And actually, I do have a video, and I am going to place that in here for you. And it kind of gives a demonstration about the field around your body and a tuning fork actually working in the field where there's a stuck vibration. It's going to actually show you that. So working in the field with the unweighted fork helps to harmonize the biofield by raising and smoothing the stuck vibration. And oddly, the body doesn't recognize its own noise being out of sync until we introduce a tuning fork to the field. So kind of interesting there that it doesn't. So thank you for that question. It was great. And I think this might be our last question. This one is from Peter, and Peter writes, I've only seen your program twice and have enjoyed the simplicity of your explanations. I find it easily digestible. So my question is, you've talked about chakras. What exactly are chakras? Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that comment and that compliment. Let me see, I think I might even have a chart on that. I do. Here's your chakra centers. And they are color-coded. They run from the front and the back of the spine. So as we begin, the chakras, there are actually 12. These are the 7 that we are all familiar with. But there are actually 12 in total. And there's actually even more than that. There's 114, but we're not going to go there. So right now, for today's intensive purposes, we're not going to go with 114. So we'll keep today's discussion on just the 12. So in the Hinduism and the Buddhism and others, a chakra is thought to be an energy point or node in the subtle body. Chakras are believed to be part of the subtle body, not the physical body, which is out here. And as such, are the meeting points of the non-physical or the energy channels called nadi. They are cylindrical, cone-shaped, and are associated with color. Again, we're talking about color and vibration. Everything is a vibration, including color. So the chakra colors follow the spectrum of the rainbow, at least the 7 that go up and down the front and back of your spine. They follow the colors of the rainbow. And then the extended 5 are colors associated with metals or other elements. And among them is gold, platinum, and a combination of colors that are sometimes referred to as opalescence or iridescence, and those are very high frequencies. And that we use a lot in the Melchizedek work with the KL formula. So the inner body chakras, that would be in here, the 7, the root chakra, the color for that is red, and it's situated at the base of the spine. The root chakra provides foundation on which we build our life. It supports us in growing and feeling safe into a safe environment, exploring all aspects of our life. It is related to our feeling of safety and security, whether it's physical or regarding the body, the bodily needs, or metaphorical regarding housing and financial safety. The actual sacral, say that 3 times fast. The sacral chakra, which is the color orange, and it's situated at the navel area, and it's about 2 inches just below the belly button. This center is about feeling pleasure. When it's open, it's easier to feel intimate with yourself and others. So feelings just flow freely, so there's emotional and physical expression without being over-emotional. The solar plexus, the chakra color for that is yellow, and that is right here just below the heart, and is about personal power, will, assertion, feelings of being in control, and self-confidence. Self-confidence is the biggest part of the solar plexus. The heart chakra, the color is pink, but in some teachings it's green, and it is associated with interaction, love, kindness, and affection. The throat chakra is the color blue and is about communication and self-expression in all forms. This chakra governs talking, writing, and all forms of artistic expression. And I can't tell you how many people that I have had speak to me that I've had an opportunity to work with. The throat chakra and the sacral chakra are the 2 messiest. Communication has been very difficult for human beings in that area. The chakra center for the throat works on the thyroid. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of people that I've come into contact with that have had to have their thyroid removed, and we need that. And that's really just basically either been suppressed or held down, not being allowed to communicate or express themselves. So this chakra is really, really important to have. Let it free flow. It controls a lot. The third eye chakra, the color for that is violet, and it's about the higher faculties of the mind, insight, intuition, inspiration, feeling guided. When balanced and open, there is an ability to see beyond appearances. You can actually see outside of that box, so you just see things a little bit clearer. The crown chakra, the color for that is white, and again, in some teachings, it's purple, and is all about connecting to spiritual practice that has meaning and depth. This is our connection to the higher chakras and to the higher self. Your higher self, by the way, knows everything that's going on for your best and highest good, and we don't always listen or pay attention, but your higher self is the goal for us to work towards, to listen to. And now the outer body chakras, there's only 5, and they are associated with metals or other elements such as gold, platinum, opalescence, and iridescence. And oddly, the 8th chakra, that's just above the crown, this is the Earth Star chakra, and that is the color of brown and is located 1.5 feet below the feet, believe it or not. So it does shift over a little bit. So that one particular one goes to the earth, and that is your grounding. It's the center of the Kundalini force, which is asleep until the awakening by spiritual practices. So if you're doing Reiki, if you're doing yoga, if you're doing meditation, if you're doing Tai Chi, any of this stuff, if you're doing tuning forks, Melchizedek, anything that works for you to help lift your vibration, help you clear, slows the brain wave, calms the nervous system, all of that is going to activate the Kundalini. So this center also connects us to our family line and ancestors. Now continuing, we're going to go back to above the crown again now. So the 9th chakra is the soul chakra and is the color silver. It's located about 18 inches above the crown. This is the seat of the soul. When open and connected to the other 7, we can begin to access the Akashic records and our soul's mission or higher purpose for this incarnation. Solar chakra, that one is the next one above that, and that's your 10th. And the color for that is gold, and not to be confused with the solar plexus, which is here. This one resides above the soul star and is associated with masculine energy. It actually governs your ability to live your dream. This chakra helps you to focus your will, removes blockages, and gives your existence purpose. The 11th chakra is your galactic chakra, and the color for that is it's a mix. It's a mix of violet, gold, and silver, and is considered a channel for prophecy. This chakra referred to as the universe's cosmic book of life. This center connects us to the higher angelic forces, masters of light, and also governs, again, your access to the Akashic records. And the Akashic records, if you're not familiar with that term, that is kind of like a hall of records on the other side. And it has everything that you ever thought about, everything you ever did, everything you ever said. It's all specifically you, and that's why it's called the Akashic records. It's a record on every single human being and everything that took place from point A to point B, including all of those 12 different dimensions that we have to go through. So the 12th universal chakra, this is a multicolored orb of light image. It's a central sun at the heart of our universe. So this chakra connects us to the Elohim, the angelic master builders. This is our direct connection to the divine source energy, universal wisdom, or the God, if you call it God, God of all that is. So I hope that you found this interesting. And I think that's all the time that we have today for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed this segment and found it helpful. I'm sure that you did, because you're sending me lots of questions all the time. So thank you for your questions. And if there's anything in particular that you would like to see more of on this program, again, email me, energy4522@gmail.com. We'll try to put it together. So thanks for joining us. Have a great month. Until next time, stay tuned, stay connected.